It's another episode of the Retro Funhouse podcast. Thanks for joining me. We are going to be talking about all kinds of random things like we always do. It's Retro Funhouse and we like to get retro. Let's get retro. I'm looking for a new hashtag besides join the Funhouse. If you can think of one or you got one, let me know in the comments. But other than that, let's get straight to it. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has officially finally come out. As of this podcast, it's been out a couple of days now, but still, almost anybody and everybody I know has bought the game, and I've heard a lot of great reviews about it, a lot of great things. If you played Breath of the Wild, which in honor of the new Zelda game, I've got the Breath of the Wild, my copy for the Switch. All right, here, just to kind of show, I don't have the copy of Tears of the Kingdom just yet, but I will have it eventually. I'm excited to play it. And I have to make a confession, I have not officially even beaten Breath of the Wild. I got stuck on one of the bosses, and I kind of took a break from it because I was getting frustrated. And I haven't gotten back to it. I don't know why. I really enjoy the game. I like the fact that I can roam free and run around. So I'm definitely going to get back to that. Also, remember, guys, in this podcast, there's no edits. What you see is what you get. It's a one take, one done. So that's it. There you go. Anyways, something I was noticing when it came to the Breath of the Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game, was the fact that it's been given a 10 out of 10 by GameSpot. If anybody out there is familiar with GameSpot, it's just another one of the game reviewers out there that kind of just give you all the lowdown on all kinds of things going on. But they gave it a 10 out of 10, and there was 10 games total that they had in one of the articles that they posted, just kind of showing other games throughout that they've given a 10 out of 10. One of them was Resident Evil 4, the remake, Into the Breach Advanced Edition, Elden Ring, Deathloop, Rainbow Six Siege, Final Fantasy VII, the remake, Persona 5 Royale, Disco Asylum was another one, and Super Mario Odyssey. And I'm just wondering, why is it that anytime new games come out, and I get it, every time a new game comes out, everyone's excited and what have you, and there's a lot of great games that have come out. I haven't had a chance to play yet. Haven't had a chance to play the Hogwarts game that came out, and that's another one that I've heard is really good. But it's like anytime a new game comes out, it's immediately thrown up as the greatest game ever, or one of the greatest games ever. And the reason I say it is because with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which recently came out, it's been ranked as one of the top Marvel movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe of all time. There was a top 10, I think, that IGN or somebody had put out. I can't remember which site that I had seen it on, where they rank all the Marvel movies in order from all the Marvel movies that have come out, the top 10. And it seems like every time a new movie comes out from the Marvel Universe, it's immediately thrown out there as, oh, this is the best Marvel movie that's ever come out, blah, blah, blah. And nothing against, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I haven't seen it yet personally. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's a great ending to the Guardians series, which is really cool. But I was just wondering why they do that. I don't know why they do that. It's interesting to me. I mean, a new movie comes out and they get it, people are excited, and that's fine. I get excited when new movies come out. But to say it's the best movie of all the movies in the universe, or the trilogy or what have you, that's a little far-fetched for me. Some other things that I was wanting to go over too, since we're talking about movies. September 6th, next year, 2024, Beetlejuice 2 is finally coming. And it's a long overdue movie, in my opinion, because the fact that Michael Keaton is returning as Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder will be returning as Lydia Dietz. And they've casted Jenna Ortega, who was Wednesday in the Addams Family spinoff on Netflix, which we haven't seen. That was really good too. I really like that one. So that's interesting that they're doing that. I'm also curious to see who else will come back from the original movie to be in Beetlejuice 2. I'm really hoping that Beetlejuice 2 will stick pretty close to Beetlejuice 1 and not throw in a lot of crazy stuff that people are like, why is this in here? Let's just have a Beetlejuice movie and let's leave it at that. That's what I'm hoping for, but I'm excited to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. I'm excited to see Michael Keaton return as Batman. That was really cool. Michael Keaton does a great job. To me, he was probably the best Batman. My favorite Batman, at least. On the subject of superheroes, Burger King has collaborated with, if you've seen this already, or I don't know if it's out, I think it's out, it could be out, but Burger King has been collaborating already with the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and they're doing a Whopper meal deal for a limited time. to celebrate the Spider-Man movie coming out, and the burger on the Whopper bun is going to be red, like Spider-Man. And of course, you'll get the collector souvenir cup along with it, so that's pretty cool. I think I might try and find that and check it out. I'd like to have the cup. The cup does look pretty cool. So let me know in the comments as well if you've had that, or if you've already seen that, or you've tried it. Pretty sure it's no big difference. Pretty sure it's just some red dye in the Whopper bun, but still, that's pretty cool. It's fun. The Spider-Man movie, I'm excited to see that one as well. The first one was really good. And on the subject of heroes and gaming, I'm going to switch it just for a quick second over to the NES. The NES. I recently was playing last week Lethal Weapon on the NES, and it's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's a weird game. It's what you would expect from an NES because of the time it came out. You play as Mel Gibson or Danny Glover, which was Riggs and Murtaugh. And it's interesting. You start off as Riggs, and you can kind of switch off and on between the two instantly. You don't have to push pause or start. You just immediately just push and switch between the two characters. They have a handgun, of course, with like normal. You have bullets. You have your on top that shows the little pellets of bullets you have left. And if you run out of bullets, you can switch from using the gun or fighting. Which, if you've ever played Karate Champ, it's pretty similar to that, except for a lot of the jumps and kicks. It's basically just punches and kicks, and it's pretty similar to me to Karate Champ when it comes to the punches and kicks. Not the worst game. I got through a lot of the stages pretty quick. I was surprised on the first go that I got to like stage 3, I believe, on it. I didn't finish it. I just was surprised at how easy it is. But if I had to rank it from a 1 to 5 stars, I would say about a 2.5 to 3. It wasn't bad. I was surprisingly, I honestly enjoyed it. It wasn't a hard game to figure out to play, and it was pretty simple to go. And it's an NES game, so it is what it is with that. And one of the things when we're talking about the NES and we're talking about retro gaming was, do kids today like retro gaming, or is it more adults that are into the retro gaming? Which, of course, adults, because we grew up on it. But how long will it last? Because you think about it, eventually we're going to fade out of the retro gaming one day. That's just how it is. So will kids of today that are, if maybe you've got kids that you've been, showing them the retro gaming stuff. I do that with my kids. My older kids have played all the old retro gaming systems. My teenage son, he really enjoys playing like the PS2, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. He really likes, he's played recently the Atari 2600. He thought that was interesting as well. I mean, there are games on it, and I've told him, and I would tell anybody, there are games for any console that you're just like, okay, it's not the best. But I was just kind of wondering, how long will retro gaming continue? I hope it continues for as long as it continues. I think it's great to see when you do go to conventions, or you go to the retro gaming stores. There's kids in there, and I've seen kids in every retro gaming store I've gone to. Every convention, there's tons of kids with their parents, or they're in the groups of friends and they're shopping. So it's great to see there are. I'm not going to say a percentage because I'm not sure, but there are kids that are playing retro games, and I think a lot of kids are really intrigued with retro gaming. I think the fact that you have a lot of the retro stuff that's out, and even a lot of remakes of games that are coming out that people are like, oh, I didn't know that was, that's an original retro game. It's just great to see. I think if you've got kids and you've introduced them to retro gaming, good job. I've done that with my kids, and I think retro games are so much better than games today. Of course, you can't compare when it comes to graphics and all that stuff, but if it wasn't for the retro games that we have and the consoles that we have from the past, we would not be where we are now with retro gaming. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are as well, guys, on when it comes to retro gaming and who enjoys it more. Of course, we do as the adults because we grew up on it. But hey, do you have kids that enjoy retro gaming? I'd like to know that as well. I think that's just an interesting thing to see. I want to see the retro gaming continue forward. And one last thing I wanted to talk about, because I don't like the podcast to go too long. I recently had watched an old movie from 1986, Chopping Mall. I was scanning through YouTube, and there it was. It was the full movie version. I've never seen the actual version except for the version of it that would come on TV on the weekends when I was a kid. Back in 1986, I was a kid. I was maybe 7, maybe, I think, when it originally came out on TV. And of course, it's the edited version. You just see the movie, and they take out all the stuff that would make it proper for television. This version on YouTube, if you want to see it, it's Chopping Mall. It's on YouTube. This was the full version, so I kind of shocked at some of the. It's not a horrible movie. It's not a kid too much of a kid friendly movie. I mean, I wouldn't let my younger kids watch it. It's got some, a little bit of language. It's got some adult type content. Nothing too crazy. Just like a couple of seconds here and there. But a lot of it is it's kind of got a little bit of violence, a little bit of, I mean, it's basically, if you've never seen the movie, let me break down the synopsis for you. It is 3 security robots in a mall that, and this movie gets straight to the point. It's 3 security robots inside of a mall. An electrical storm hits around the time the mall is shutting down and everything's closing up, and it malfunctions the security bots, in which they go berserk. And around the same time, you've got guys and girls planning a secret lock-in in the building as the mall is locking down, and they are planning a party, fiasco, what have you. They're going to hang out, and there you go. And the movie gets crazy because the security bots start to murder people and kill people, and the doors for the entrances of the mall start to they lock down, and it's like high security lockdown of all the main entrances to the mall. So that was an interesting spot in the movie that I was like, don't remember that spot in the movie. But that was interesting. The doors are like futuristic doors. I was like, this is the mall. Why they got futuristic doors like that? Shouldn't it just be like a pull down gate? But the movie gets really crazy. I rewatched it. It's got some wacky stuff. It's got some cheesy lines, but I still enjoyed it. I watched it all. It's not a long movie. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long. Not very long. It's straight to the point. But some of the crazy things these robots do these security robots are armed with killing darts, buzzsaws, tasers, lasers, kind of like something you'd see in Star Wars that shoot like bullets, and C4 like detonator bombs. It's insane. And it made me think, I was watching this, I was kind of sitting back laughing. These are security robots in a mall. Why do they need all these things? Shouldn't they be like military weapons? But they're using these in the mall. And what mall has that kind of money to spend on security robots at the time would be very high tech. If you've never seen it again, maybe if you want to go watch it, you can watch it. It's up to you. Definitely not a family-friendly movie. It's a movie you want to watch. If you want to watch, it's up to you. But it does have its quirkiness and its silliness. It was a low-budget film. You can tell by watching it was a low-budget film. I've seen it a handful of times growing up as a kid, and just to watch it was just kind of reminiscent of this movie is silly. But overall, it's still a fun movie. I think the robots are probably the best part, of course, because they've got their little catchphrases, cheesy things they say as they're eliminating or killing off characters in the film. But to see the characters, the guys and the girls, fighting back, and just the graphics that come with it. It was the 80s, it's got that 80s graphic, but it is what it is. For me, I thought it was great. It's a good movie. I'd prefer the edited version because that's the version I remember, and it was just a movie, super short, straight to the point. Again, it's up to you if you want to watch it. I just thought I'd bring it up because I recently watched it. I was like, I haven't seen that movie in probably a long time, 20 plus years, if not longer. So that's the podcast, guys. I went through quite a few things pretty fast. I don't want to go too long with the podcast because I've got a lot of other things I want to talk about. And I just want to make sure that you guys like, share, subscribe as I move forward with a new episode. Hopefully I'll have another topic for you. If you've got something you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I will definitely read the comments. I will definitely respond to the comments. And I will definitely even look up some of the things you'd like for me to talk about and chat about in the podcast, whether you're watching the video or you're just listening. Either way, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel and our videos. We've got a new video coming as of this. And as of this video, this is being shot, or this podcast being shot, Saturday, the day before Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day if you're a mom out there. We appreciate you very much, all that you do. So next time, guys, like, share, subscribe. Remember, whatever happens here is unedited. So you probably heard my son a few minutes ago as I was going. It is what it is. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Join the Funhouse, Retro Funhouse.